Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of RV Tips and Trips. Want to tell you about our mouse problem. Well, actually it's more than a mouse problem. We have been invaded by mice. Don't know where we picked them up, but Thomas actually tipped us off as to the problem. What? Where is it? Do we have a mouse? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't you get your head stuck in there. Oh. Is the mouse in there? Oh. Looks like we might have a mouse. That was discovered by Thomas, because the other night Thomas just jumped up in the air and was hunting this thing that's...
Gee, this is a funny looking joint.
One night we were sitting watching TV, and Thomas was in his little bed that's on the floor over by the one couch in the corner of the room, and he all of a sudden just jumped right out of that bed. I mean, he just jumped right up and started barking and clawing around the bottom of the couch. And we're like, what the heck is going on? I didn't think of grabbing the camera at the time. But, so, he just would not stop. He kept barking, barking, barking. So I looked around, couldn't find anything. So we got him calmed down. And then we went to bed. And then the next morning I got up, and Thomas was at the door that has the garbage cans, and he was digging at it and that. So I opened the drawer. Now there's two garbage cans in that slide out drawer, and we used the front one, and we tend to leave the back one empty, and so there was no bag in the back one. But I opened the drawer and looked down, and there was a mouse in the second garbage can. And I was like, wow, we caught it. It was a little thing, a little gray. So I was like, oh wow, we caught a mouse. And Thomas found it. So, I mean, he's a hound, so they are very sensitive to these things. So once it got in there, it couldn't get out. They can jump about a foot and a half high. That's about it. The can sits a couple of feet, about probably 2.5 feet tall. So it couldn't get out. It was trapped. It probably fell in there overnight. So I'm thinking it climbed up on the two pipes. They're plastic pipes that come up from underneath the floor and up to the sink. So they might have climbed up in there and looked because of the garbage can and fell into the second can and couldn't get out. So I released it. That's the way I prefer to do it. So we got traps and we set up some traps. Meanwhile, the next night, another mouse fell in there. And I go, wow. And I said, Thomas, there again, he was clawing at the door for the garbage can. He's very sensitive to it. Didn't hear anything. Open it up, and sure enough, there was a second mouse in there. On the third night, I had set up traps. Now I had to take the cover off one of the steps because I noticed there were mouse droppings in there, and I put a mouse trap in there. Trap under the steps, and we caught one there yesterday.
and I disposed of them. And then set up another trap. That was our third mouse that we caught so far. And now there's a fourth one. And son of a gun, this one was able to get away with the cheese. So we're going to reset the trap and hopefully catch this one.
So, and that's right by where the water heater is. And then some pipes go down through there into under the floor. And I imagine they climb up from the underbelly up through where those pipes come up. So I set a trap, and we caught one. I hated like hell to do that. I feel bad, but I'm not going to show it here. It's just this, you know. So the third mouse we caught on the mouse trap and killed it. And then a couple nights later, another mouse ended up falling into the can. So we've caught 4 mice so far. Now the thing about this is, you know, they can bring disease, so you need to get them out of your trailer. It's, you know, it's one thing in a house to have mice, but in an RV, I think it's worse. And the reason I think it's worse is because, number one, very confined space, but they can do a lot of damage, chewing on wires and tubing for water and stuff. So you got to get rid of them real quick. The thing about mice is they can squeeze through such a small hole. From what I understand, the size of, you know, the pencil eraser on the end of a pencil, a hole that small, they can squeeze through. If they get their head through it, then the rest of the body will follow. And the other thing is, you can have a real big problem real quick if you don't get a handle on this, because their gestation period is 21 days, which is crazy. And they can have 10 litters, up to 10 litters a year, and the average litter size is about 5 to 8 mice. So that's a lot of mice real quick. So you got to get a handle on it and get rid of them ASAP. So now we've gone about 3 days and haven't caught any more mice. I keep setting the traps just in case, but so far nothing. Thomas goes around checking everywhere, but he hasn't reacted like he did the first couple of days. So I'm thinking that we got them all, 4 of them. Where we picked them up, I have no idea. It might have been in the Meredith Recreation Area. I don't know. You know, it's kind of odd you would get 4 mice all at the same time, but they all started appearing at the same time, and nothing beforehand to give us any indication that there was anything wrong. I think Thomas would have noticed it. So, you know, the other thing I was thinking is if there was a pregnant mouse that got in and then had her babies there, because they can have anywhere from 3 to 14, they call them pups actually, 3 to 14 pups in a litter. Average though is 5 to 8. So I don't know where if that's the case where Mama Mouse went, but because all of these mice were pretty small, they weren't that big, but so I'm hoping that we got a handle on this. Like I said, you can't play games with them. You got to get rid of them quickly, because they could destroy stuff in your RV, and it could add up to quite an expense. So I don't know what kind of damage I got. I know that I think they gnawed through one of the lines, the vent line from the fresh water tank, because instead of water coming all out the overflow when you hit the top of the tank when filling up with water, it's also running out from the underbelly when it hits that point. So they might have gnawed a hole in the tube looking for water. So I'm going to have to investigate that, and the only way to do that is to open the underbelly and get up in there. So I'm not looking forward to that, but that's a story down the road here yet. So they're, like I said, they reproduce like crazy, fast. And here's another little interesting tidbit, but a mouse, after being alive for only 35 days, can actually be impregnated at that point. Story is that as soon as you see mice in your RV, you need to react right away and get rid of them before they cause major problems. So, until next time, happy camping. See ya. Thomas says, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like and share. Until next time, happy camping.